Good morning guys, and this is Coding with Goutham. As we learned in our last videos and our last concepts, we learned a lot about JavaScript, like functions, booleans, and if and else statements and the basic syntax we need to know. So now let's take a little bit of more longer jump in true and false by learning return statements. Let's see how return helps us in functions. So now let's open Code Combat to have a better look at it. Now you are trapped. Do not move. It will be painful. The function checks if your enemy is in attack range. So now let's check the code. Function in attack range enemy. So enemy is the argument, in attack range is the function. Variable distance equals hero.distance to enemy. If distance is less or equals to 3, return true, else return false. Now we see our returns and our conditionals in here. So let's have a little bit of recap what we learned about conditionals. Conditionals only execute when their condition is true. So let's see how this goes. So if distance is less than or equal than 3, it returns true. So it returns the value true to their function. Else it returns the value false. So that function can be true and it could be false. Now let's go back into the code. While true, enemy equals hero find nearest enemy. Can attack equals in attack range enemies. So the variable can attack is just all the functions, all the information in the function in attack range enemy to go into one variable. So now let's look at it. If can attack, if in attack range enemy is less than or equals to 0. Now let's look at what he does. He attacks, he clears. Else he says, come on you dumb enemy, and he returns the value false. Let's run and check how he goes. And now he killed a lot of guys using this code. So now we learned some coding about return, but do we use returns in daily life? Let's have a look at it. So now guys, here before you have a nice definition of what are your return loops. So now let's look at it. So the main, so it's like the main person. And now this is how a microwave works using returns. So you get an input from the switch, you click start, it's not pressed, it goes back to the main, it pressed, it starts cooking, and it goes back to the main. So now guys, till now I have been repeating what is in the code. Now let's look at what we learned. So first, we know one thing, inputs and outputs. But basically return is just returning the output, whether it's true or whether it's false. So now the microwave starts cooking, cook. Output heat is on. Input toast temperature. If toast is less than desired, it's too cold, and he asks it to input the toast temperature again. If the toast is greater than desired, he offs the heat and he returns. So now guys, you have a nice example of returns. Now let's just summarize all this up. First, returns are nothing but outputs. Like booleans, returns also return true or false. And finally, returns are used in everyday life and mostly used in functions and conditionals. Thank you guys for watching. Please code. This is Coding with Goutham signing off.